What is up, you beautiful happy hustlers out there? Cary Jack here, and if you are multitasking, I got words for you, okay? There is something better for productivity, and that is called monotasking. And in today's message, I want to share with you a little bit of the science. I want to share with you a couple key productivity hacks that have changed the game for me. I want to share with you some insights from legendary brain coach Jim Kwik, and I want to share with you why monotasking is preferred. Okay, so if you are looking to get more done, if you are looking to optimize your cognitive performance and really make the most of your minutes, well then this is for you. All right, so stick around to the end because I'm going to drop a couple like tech hacks too that can really help you just basically be more productive and manage your time more effectively. Okay, so first and foremost, you have to understand where your awareness goes, your energy flows. Okay, so when you are multitasking, quote unquote, you're doing multiple things at the same time. It's actually a myth. What that's called is task switching. Okay, and studies show that monotasking is much more effective at accomplishing tasks, actually staying focused and getting the task at hand done, then moving on to the next task, right? So, and this is something that I struggle with as well. I know that I attempt to multitask at times, and I'm going to share with you a couple times when multitasking is effective. All right, multitasking can be effective when you plan ahead and you're doing activities that combine movement with something auditory, such as sweeping the floor with a podcast, right? That can be effective. That's multitasking, not necessarily task switching. You're doing two things at once, but they're two different things completely, right? You also want to limit certain activities, when you're multitasking, like you wouldn't, do, let's say you're not going to go exercise and watch Netflix. Like that's going to make your, and maybe I know some people actually do that, but it's not effective for the best workout is the point being, right? Because you're not going to be fully there. So there's certain tasks where you have to be very deliberate if you are going to multitask that it can be effective. Now, if you want to do, let's say, a work block where you actually need full cognitive power, this is a time for monotasking. Monotasking means you're doing one task at a time, right? You do the task completely and then you move to a new task, right? So for instance, if I'm writing or creating content or doing some type of, creative process, I need to be all there. I need to be focused. I need to be monotasking, right? And so I do like a 45 minute on, 15 minute off. That's just a time, technique that can really help you accomplish tasks where you get sufficient breaks as well. But that's all the task I'm doing. Like I'm going to do a writing block. I go 45 minutes on, I'll write until the timer goes off, and then I'll take a break. And then I'll get back into my next work block, right? So that is the difference between multitasking and monotasking, and really the two different times to do each. Like you don't want to be doing, you just don't want to be doing multiple different like cognitive tasks at the same time because you're going to do all ineffectively, or at least not to your full potential, right? So this is a very important distinction, okay? And Jim Kwik, he has Quick Learning, legendary brain coach. He talked about this recently and how it's so important to control your external environment and your internal dialogue as well, right? So your external environment, your distractions, right? There's always distractions. We all have them. Actually, just right now, my dog is whining underneath as I record this, and it's like that's a distraction. I see my dog right here. I'll even come here, dude. You're gonna be on YouTube today. All right, this is my pup. So for those of you who aren't watching the YouTube video, you can watch the video Cary Jack, the Happy Hustler on YouTube, and you can actually see my pup, Biggie Smalls, right here. What's up, dude? Anyway, so this is a very important thing to know how you can limit the distractions in your environment. You have to make sure you turn off your devices, you airplane mode your phone, you limit your kids or your spouse or your significant other from coming in while you're doing work, because this is distracting. And then you'll have to focus attention elsewhere, like I'm having to do right now with my dog sitting on my lap as I record this, right? This is a perfect example of how you need to control your environment. Now, I will just say my fiance's out of town, so I'm on dog duty. Yeah, that's where we're at. So stop distractions. Now, there's a couple things that I want to talk about that really will help you. These are like tangible things that can help you actually be more productive. First thing is the Be Focused timer. Okay, so I have this downloaded on my computer. It's very simple. It's just a timer that beeps at the set time when it expires, right? So I know I'll typically work for a 25-minute block and then a 5-minute break, or I'll do a 45-minute block and then a 15-minute break. And that's the two healthy, time periods that I've found are effective for me. And I have my Be Focused timer set when I'm doing those. Okay. So that's the first hack I want to just share with you. All right. Second thing is have rewards, right? Rewards are very, inspiring. You'll get more done if you have a positive result at the end. For instance, when I was writing my book, I got to go to this weekend getaway with my lover if I did 5 writing days. I'm gonna put my dog down. Hold on. So if I did my writing block for 5 mornings straight, well, great. Then I, got to go on this weekend trip with my lover. That was our reward. That was my personal reward, but she got to be included, right? So that's one thing. You also want to talk about consequences. If you don't do the task, let's say you do multitask and you don't monotask when you know you should be, well, you should have a consequence. I like to give money. This is a philanthropic thing, as well as it's a good consequence, because, well, sometimes I don't feel like giving money to certain causes, especially causes that I don't believe in. Sometimes I have wrote checks to opposite political parties, to charities or organizations that I don't believe in, if I don't do the task that I set forth, right? So it's a consequence. It's very important to have consequences in your life, okay? You also want to think about, all right, how can you motivate yourself to do the work, right? And to monotask. One thing that's very important to me is I do my key 3 every morning. So I'll write down my key 3 on a Post-it, and I'll just have it right here. I'll say, okay, these are 3 things. If I do nothing else today, these are the 3 things that I'm going to do, and it'll make this day a win. Okay, so you want to be clear about your intentions, and then you need to determine what blocks you're going to do those in, right? So those are a couple different things that can really help you just optimize your workflow. And here's the one thing too. I'm just going to say this, I got a 2-minute rule. All right. And I know I talked about multitasking and task switching, but I do have a 2-minute rule. If there's a task that will take me less than 2 minutes, I'll just do it right away. Right. So if it's damn, I got to send this text message, I'm going to do it right away. And then I'll get back to my task. If it takes me over 2 minutes, what I do is I write it down. Okay. So I have a task of random things on another Post-it here that I just write down, and I put as an external capture of these thoughts that are circling in my head that are distracting me from my monotask. And I'll either just get it done if it's under 2 minutes, or I'll write it down and I'll do it later and I'll schedule it. Okay, so those are just a couple things. Again, I'm not a productivity guru, nor do I claim to be at all. This is just some things that's helped me, and I think it can help you. All right, so that's why I want to share with you this stuff. It's important. Time is your most precious commodity. This is the one thing. You got 24 hours in the day. how you use those hours will dictate your reality. So right now, if you're not living your dream reality, well, it's probably because you're not being intentional with your 24 hours. Okay, so let this be the catalyst, the wake-up call to start being very deliberate, monotasking, getting shit done. You know what I mean? Like, get her done. That's the importance here. Okay, and then I will just tell you this, there's another tool that's really helpful. So you got the Be Focused Timer as one productivity hack. The other one is called freedom.to. Freedom.to. This is a blocker, a website blocker and an app blocker that you can set up so that you just cannot get access to your Facebook or your Instagram or your email or any of that stuff until the task is done. And you could set those parameters and that time will expire, and then it will unlock access to those different things. Okay. One other thing I'm going to mention too, the WeCroak app. The WeCroak app, I have it on my phone. Okay. This is an app that reminds me 5 times a day that I'm going to die. And I did an episode on this and I mentioned it, but this is something that it's a little grim, sure. It's based off the Latin phrase memento mori, which means, well, remember, you're going to die. And so this is a app that reminds me with a positive quote, you know, typically centered around death, how to just keep death top of mind. And also it's a way to really, it's a way to live with more intentionality and urgency, truly. So that's just, 3 different productivity hacks that I like to use: the Be Focused Timer, the freedom.to, and then the WeCroak app. So I hope this was helpful for you. If it is, just share it with a friend. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, watch the video, because we are like actually showcasing things and I'm holding up my dog and all sorts of random stuff. So yeah, it's more fun that way. Cary Jag, the Happy Hustler on YouTube. But regardless, y'all, I appreciate you. Just get out there and start being deliberate and intentional with your time. Monotask more than multitask, so you are 100% focused in getting her done. All right, y'all, get out there and happy hustle your dream reality. All that passion, that purpose, and that positive impact. I'm out, y'all. Peace and love. Oh, and one more thing. If you do want to go deeper down this rabbit hole, I actually have some more productivity hacks in my book, thehappyhustlebook.com. You can get a free copy, just help out with shipping and handling. So that is something that I wanted just to mention, because I do have a bunch of productivity hacks and I do talk about how you can actually get more done in that book, specifically on chapter 7, impactful work. Chapter 8, impactful work. So, all right, that is it. Get out there, make the most of the day, monotask, and crush it, y'all. Peace and love.